working with buyers right now, Eric, where they're freaking out over being close to 7%. But if all of a sudden they do a 3.1 and they're actually starting off at 3.5%,
right?
That feels like, hey.
Welcome to the Our Team Podcast, powered by eXp Realty. Are you an agent looking to level up? Are you someone looking to buy or sell real estate? Fantastic. This is the show for you.
Welcome back to the Our Team Podcast. We have a super cool guest today. We had this guest on a couple of weeks ago.
Is that me or Joe? Who's the cool one?
I wasn't going to reveal who the cool guest was, but I think already the audience knows it's not you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which leaves me.
Which leaves Joe Crist. Listen, we had you on before.
Yes.
We had a little bit of an issue with the audio. That wasn't your fault. I'm going to take all the blame on that. We had plenty of video footage, but it just sounded like chaos. So we wanted, since you're here today,
Sure.
we just finished a great meeting.
That was a good meeting.
Wasn't that cool?
Oh, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Great meeting.
But what was your favorite part of the meeting today? All the stuff that I said, right?
I just like how you lead the team.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Checks in the mail for that. We have such a great team. The ecosystem, the way we love on each other and share so much with each other. We have a great culture, which I think is the most important thing. We could do a whole show on just why culture is important, but we're not going to do that. You are an incredible lender, and you have some really cool tools, amazing tools, that are really helpful for today because the rates have changed so much. The market has shifted. What has caused the shift? Well, it's all the mitigating factors that cause rates to go up, right?
Inflation.
And we can go round and round on why inflation happened. Whose fault is it? It doesn't matter. It happened.
Correct.
And so rates are higher. And it's caused buyers to be a little bit in a funk. So we've been talking so much about role-playing and how to talk to buyers, how to get them educated, not pushed into buying when they're not comfortable, but educating them on the different products that are out there. Mm-hmm. And so I thought today would be good for us to just sort of chit-chat about what's going on with the rates and what products you have to really help buyers right now. Even though rates are higher, there are some advantages because prices are lower,
yes.
Less competition on homes, more, it's not so frenzy. And we also have Eric Tackett with us here today.
Sleep there for a minute. I didn't know if you needed me.
We don't need you on this podcast.
I'm here for comedic relief.
Eric begged me to be on a podcast. I said no, and he still showed up somehow.
My wife thinks I have a job.
The reason why Eric is here is because he has had some really good experience with you.
Yes.
So I thought it was important to have someone on the team to represent. I've had extremely good experience.
Good.
We're in escrow on 2 deals right now. Mm-hmm. Eric has worked with you multiple times, lots of phone calls like this. So I wanted him to be able to be here to sort of spar with you as well. So that's why we're all here. So, Joe?
Well,
awesome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's always great to come out to Temecula where the weather is nice and the people are very, very helping. That's one thing that I've noticed about working with your team is I don't think there's not one person on this team that would help one another overcome the issues that the market is facing right now.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's wonderful to see. I also come from a place of helping. That's why I always answer my phone. I don't care what time of day or night it is.
It's crazy how much you answer your phone.
Yeah.
You're always there, yeah.
And how quick you respond. I'm almost a little worried.
I think he has robots at home.
No, I don't know. But what we've seen lately in the last 30 days in the market is that the inflation has somewhat peaked. Mm-hmm. The government key inflation statistics have topped out. Therefore, they are indicating that they're not going to have such big interest rate increases in December that they had thought.
Good news.
And therefore, the regular rates that had peaked well into the 7s are now well into the 6s. And so,
Great.
That makes a big, big difference in payments. Big difference in payments. And
also
to counteract that has been good for the mortgage industry because they've been forced to come up with different products to help people.
Let's talk about some of those.
Well, one of those is we now rolled out a 3-1 buy down. Mm-hmm. So if you have a start rate at 6.5 on a regular loan, with the buy down, you could go all the way to 3.5 in the first year, 4.5 in the second, 5.5 in the third. And probably by then, rates are going to be stabilized, which would then allow you to get out of that loan and refinance it.
So doing a 3-1 buy down, it's not like you're going to be forced at that to play that out. You can refinance.
Correct. Anytime.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no prepayment penalties on the loan, so it works out really well.
Yeah. Joe, do you see how close I am to my microphone?
Yes, I do.
That's about how close you need to be.
Sorry about that.
We're still having a little bit of an afterglow here from the meeting, so there's people talking in the background. Well, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Because we're working with buyers right now, Eric, where they're freaking out over being close to 7%. But if all of a sudden they do a 3-1 and they're actually starting off at 3.5%,
Right.
that feels like, hey.
And the best part is the seller pays for it. The buyer does not pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And they're willing to pay for it because their home's been sitting on the market for, say, 100 days, and they're listed at $700,000. And so you give them full price and ask for that instead of coming in at $650.
Correct.
Give them full price and ask for them to pay for that buy down.
This real estate market has really been a lesson in economics.
Yeah.
Rates were really, really low. Great. No houses available.
Right.
Where you got stuck with a house you really didn't want.
Exactly.
Because that's the only thing that was out there, right?
Yeah.
Take what you can get.
Right. And now,
It was like Black Friday.
Right.
Every single day you went shopping for a house.
And you got the pair of socks you didn't need.
yeah. You felt like you had to buy the gift.
Right.
Yeah.
And now that rates have come up, it has flipped it almost from a seller's market to a buyer's market now because these homes are staying on the market longer. Now, I'll tell you one thing interesting that I've had a lot of people tell me.
Yeah.
Well, where do you see rates going? I see rates coming down a little bit more. I think we're going to be into the 5s here eventually.
Oh, man.
Won't be too long before that happens. But bear in mind, what do you think is going to happen when rates hit 5?
Prices will go back.
Prices will go back. Buyers are going to get frenzy again, and you're going to.
And there won't be any inventory.
There won't be any
Right.
inventory.
So you're better off to buy at 6.5, get a great deal on the house,
A buy down.
not be
Do a buy down as well.
do a buy down as well, and not be upside down in your house and get the house you want.
Yeah.
So right now is the time to buy.
Yep.
Well, and don't forget, when there's no inventory, what happens to the real estate prices? People start paying over list
Over.
price
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
And if you're not sitting on a ton of cash, because the lenders aren't going to finance that over amount, you're going to have to pay for that out of your pocket, which
Yeah.
a lot of people did when rates were 3.
Yeah.
We saw 100,000 over ask, 200,000 over ask. It was crazy.
Where have we ever seen an economy where your car appreciates more than your house? And when you're paying 150, 200 over, that's what's going to happen because you're upside down in your house.
Yeah.
Right now we're getting back to where we're more stable pricing. You get these buy downs, you take advantage of these incentives, and you're getting the house for the price of value,
In the house that you
what
want.
it's worth,
Yep.
the house you want,
Yeah.
and a cost you can afford.
You just threw up a
I threw up.
statistic
Yes.
up on the wall
Yeah.
there. And I was amazed to see in the Temecula Valley there was 416 homes.
Yeah. And that's available right now.
6 months ago, you said there were how many?
It was double digits. It was literally like there were times when
78.
when I was putting our our team puts the newsletter together and we're looking at available homes, like active listings, like, wait, this is 22 homes? Wait, let's run this again. No, there were times in our market where there was literally 20 double-digit homes available.
And that would change by noon. If you looked
Yeah.
at that at
Right.
8 o'clock, it
Yeah.
wasn't like that at noon.
Exactly.
Right. You didn't even have time to even go out and view the home. I had
no.
many buyers
Yeah.
that wrote offers with sight unseen because they said, if I don't do this right now,
Yeah.
it'll
gotta
be
do it.
gone by 5 p.m.
Yeah. Well, and that's one of the things we would tell our clients is like they'd say, I think I'd like to write an offer. I really do like the house, but I think I want to sleep on it. And so what my wife loves to tell her buyers when this scenario happens is, why don't you just sign the offer and you can sleep on it for 17 days?
Right.
Because that's how long you have during your contingency. So
Well, that's the beautiful thing about California. I mean,
Yeah.
people always complain about our regulations and this, that, and another, but it's
Buyers are protected.
it is very home buyer friendly.
it is. It is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so we've got the 3-1 buy down, the 2-1 buy down. That's something that's very helpful. we have a climate where it's a lot easier for me and for Eric and everyone on our team that works with buyers to sort of step back and breathe a little bit. You can help them. We have more time to chit chat with them about all kinds of things. We can show them a lot more properties. And so that makes it feel like, I can be a realtor again. I don't have to, I'm not in frenzy mode, you know? I mean, we have a driveway presentation that we show our buyers for the first, when we first meet them. And we've created this really cool driveway presentation that I'm having to always change because, the market changes and the temperature of, the buying process changes and the shopping process and, what rates are and all that kind of stuff kind of all wrapped up into that presentation. And one of the things that I think has been very, not frustrating, but I'd just say funny or hilarious to me is how many times in like a 3-month period I've had to change that presentation.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? It's just like,
You got to
hey, guys,
adjust with the times.
you got it, exactly. And so it's a good thing it's moldable. So you've had to do the same thing as a lender. You're constantly having to change your message. It's important to control the narrative. So how are you controlling the narrative in your business with your clients right now? Because it's not a bad time to buy.
It's a great time to buy.
Yeah.
And if you look at a home as an investment, like you should, obviously it's a place you live, but it's also an investment vehicle.
Yep.
Most Americans in the United States, that is their source of their biggest equity that they have, bigger than 401ks, is the equity in their home.
Yep.
And if you think about it from a 30-year period, have people really ever lost money on real estate in a 30-year period?
No.
No.
So,
if people say, I want to sleep on it, I'm not sure what you want to sleep on because you're going to make money on this home eventually.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Maybe in a short run, 3 to 5 years, it may not increase as much as you hope it would.
Yeah.
But over the long term, it will.
Yeah.
And, as well as I do, most of our parents had interest rates in the teens, 16, 17. I remember my dad paid a second mortgage at 21%.
Renting is 100% interest.
100%.
So that's higher than any interest rate I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But, it's crazy how fast that the absolute market changes.
Yeah.
We have lenders that have come up with these new products, including a jumbo arm, now that the homes are coming up more in value. Mm-hmm. They just raised the conventional loan limits.
Yeah.
To $726,000 in Riverside and
So
County,
needed that.
And San Diego is up to $1,089,000 now.
Yeah.
And
Wait, that's Orange County, right?
in Orange County and San Diego is $1,089,000.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible.
Yeah, so it's
Which might buy you a condo in those.
and I think the biggest thing, I had this conversation with a borrower last night. She had no idea that her interest on her home was tax deductible if she exceeded the $25,000 standard deduction.
Right.
Well, with a home, it's $700,000. At let's just say 7% or 6% interest. That's $43,000 in interest plus taxes. You get
Can I write off 100% of that interest?
up to $750,000.
So,
Right.
And that's what a lot of people don't know.
Yeah,
They don't understand that, yes, interest rates are higher, but if you file correctly with that higher, and a good tax CPA or tax person is going
always
to know
consult
this.
your CPA.
For sure. I mean, we're not tax people, but if you have a 30-year fixed at 2.6% like I do, not trying to brag, but I did get that, I don't have much to write off there.
No,
I'm not even reaching the threshold.
no.
So
like, for example, like this client last night, I showed her on paper how, and her CPA would do the same thing if you call your CPA, how she would actually get back an extra $12,000 a year in tax refund because of that interest being tax deductible.
Yeah.
So it's a phenomenal thing that a lot of people don't think about because the rates have been low for so long. The government raised the standard deduction. It almost made the interest on a home non-existent anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
Made it so that it really wasn't an advantage.
Yeah. So
now it is.
I explained to her how that would offset her payment, at the end of a year and potential savings or additional money that she could use it for.
Yeah.
So
You have to look at it more of like an annualized savings. It's not like a month-to-month because you still have a higher payment.
Yeah, you still got to make the payment, obviously, right?
Yeah.
But historically, Joe, we're still low rates.
Yes.
Right? I mean,
very, very low rates.
Yeah.
Just looking back, I think what's happened is we got that teaser of something that we may never ever see again.
I don't think you'll ever see it again in your lifetime.
Not 2.5%. Not
And it's
that.
it's like being
on a
able.
conventional loan.
It's like someone saying Amazon was at $2 a share, right?
I'm just waiting for it to get back
I'm just
there.
waiting for it to get back there. It's not going back there.
No,
Even
that
if
was
they do a 100-to-1 split, it's not going to get there.
But in
That
our
was a-
minds, we think we're gonna wait.
That was a collision of a perfect storm right there
it was.
that made those rates at. And I even said, as a lender, how in the world, if you're going to lend this money out at 2.5%, how in the world are you going to make money as a lender? I mean,
Right.
there isn't one business out there that doesn't charge a markup.
Yeah.
Right?
Right, for
Clothing,
sure. You
food,
have to.
everything, right?
Yeah.
You
That's
have
how we
to.
pay employees, right?
Risk.
Well, if you lend it out at 2.5%,
Doesn't leave a lot to do much with.
right.
Yeah.
And so now that the price of funds are somewhere around 3.5 to 4, of course, mortgages companies are borrowing that money at 3.5 and 4,
Right.
lending it out at 5.5 or 6.
Which
Yeah.
it should be.
Yeah.
That's normal.
Right.
Yeah.
It's normal.
Wow. Well, that is really cool. Is there any? Well, how can people get a hold of you? I know how to get a hold of you.
Yeah.
I mean, I can just pick up the phone, send an email, smoke signals.
Yeah.
We're gonna have your information, on
Perfect.
this podcast. We're gonna have it on Facebook.
You get a
Anywhere
hold
that
of-
you watch.
You get a hold of me at my phone number is 760-423-3192. I don't have an assistant. You will get me every time that you call.
He's not kidding.
No, he's not kidding.
No, no.
And every time you call, he'll pick up.
And if there's a really weird circumstance, if I'm on the other line, you will get an immediate text back that I will call you back. And the minute I hang up on that other phone call, I will call you right
Yeah,
back.
He's not kidding. Even if it's talking about golf,
Yeah.
it's coming right
Just
back at you.
instantaneous.
That's right. And he's not afraid to travel because you do a lot of loans here in Riverside County, but you're also over the hill and you're doing a lot of stuff in the Coachella Valley,
Oh, yeah.
San Diego.
I meet with clients all the time.
Yeah, that's cool. Is there anything else you want to add before we close up this podcast? Is there anything you feel like you maybe forgot to enlighten us on?
I don't think so. I feel pretty good.
Yeah. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it.
The
I feel
tide.
good about it, too.
The tide is starting to turn. You can feel it. You can see it.
Right. Don't be
Ra-
caught with your shorts down.
Rates are coming down.
Yeah.
They're stabilizing. There for a while they were just on a wild
Right.
Bronco heading north. And,
Oh, yeah.
And honestly, I mean, I really predicted. I thought we were going to be in the 8s.
Yeah.
But inflation is steadily. The key measures that they're looking at have started to come down.
Right.
And that has been a big, big help.
Yeah, it really
Yeah.
did what it was
We might
supposed
be
to do.
right in that sweet spot right now. I
Yeah.
mean, this next 90 days, 120
Yeah.
days could be the best buying opportunity we've seen in 3 years.
I agree.
100%.
I do agree because, again, not to beat a dead horse here, but when you are competing against 40, 50, 60 other people
And paying 200 over.
and paying $100,000 over in 3 years, because you had such a small interest rate, but you paid so much, you paid above appraised value, say 50, 100,000. 3 years from now, you're not going to be in nearly as good a shape as
You'll
you
be
are.
lucky to be even.
You'll be lucky to be even. Where if you buy now, higher interest rates, amortize that out 3 years, you're getting a deal on the house. Plus,
And if that rate goes back down to 3, guess what?
refinance.
Refinance.
You can refinance your dream home. I mean,
I know.
You're in your dream home. Oh, okay. Well, now I can
refinance.
reduce. You don't lose out.
And if
No.
it's a VA, you can do a streamline.
FHA and VA
There
allow
you
for
go.
streamlined loans,
Yep.
limited documentation, no appraisal.
Yep. So as soon as
already
rates
guarantee the
change,
loan?
you just boom, you're
I
done.
think if you're sitting on the sideline, better stand up and get ready to get in the game.
Yeah,
right. And
for
if you
sure.
get in that game, give me a call, give
me a
Eric a
call.
call, give Joe a call.
We'll do a great
Right.
job for you.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
We'll catch you on the next one.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Hey, wait, before you go, I wanted to quickly thank you for tuning in to the Our Team podcast.